Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Bit of a change of weather. Good morning. It's just on 9:30, so we'll get starting straight into the practice. And I thought we might actually start lying down this morning. But of course, if you want to stay seated, that's fine. But otherwise, just gather what you need to be comfortable to lie down. You might want to cover yourselves with a blanket or a shawl. If you wear glasses, you might like to pop those to one side and just grab any support you need. You might sigh the breath away 2 or 3 times as we settle down, get comfortable. And for these first few moments, I invite you to just observe how you are feeling this morning without thinking that you need to be any particular way right now. So just be yourself with whatever you are experiencing right now, and know that that's okay. So every time we are quiet and still, we have the opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, to come home to ourselves, and to be in touch with what's going on inside of us. So just start by becoming aware of all of the sensations in your body, and also noticing what's going on in your mind, your heart. Try to refrain from making any part of your current experience wrong. Just observing, noticing without judgment. And turning towards your breath. Does your breath feel shallow this morning, quite light, or a little deeper? Does your breath feel fast or slow, or somewhere in between? And how do you feel energetically this morning? So really inhabit this moment and notice what you are experiencing. The Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh once said that our practice can help us learn to stay present when the present is unbearable. Our practice can help us learn to stay present when the present is unbearable. With our practice, we can learn to stay with whatever we are experiencing and not run away or suppress or deny or resist or struggle. We can learn to remain calm, connect with our breath, and just be aware of what's going on inside of us. Oh, there's anger again, or there's irritation, there's frustration, there's some joy, or there's some sadness, some pain, grief. In a sense, as the writer Jeff Foster says, we come to learn to bow to what arrives within the self, blessing the mess of our beautiful, vulnerable human self. Slowing down and drenching our present feelings, impulses, urges, longings, desires, and pains with attention and breath, curiosity and understanding. So in this way, we learn to be with what initially feels unbearable by offering ourselves heartfelt attention and much loving kindness and care. We learn to soften where once we may have hardened or tightened. We pause and breathe, remaining patient and present. So I invite you, whether you're sitting or lying, to now bring the palms of your hands together and give them a lovely rub until they feel nice and warm. And then placing your hands over your heart space. Just breathing into and out of the heart space. And you might like to say to yourselves now a few times, may I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. And if there's a part of you that is a bit sore this morning, it might be a bit of an ache or some pain, or it might be an emotion that you've been experiencing a lot lately that's a bit challenging. You might be struggling to accept some part of yourself, or you've had a bit of negative self-talk. So you might like to bring this pain or this ache or this struggle to mind. And again, say to yourself a few times, may I learn to look at myself or this ache, this pain, this struggle with the eyes of understanding and love. And always may we remember that this too shall pass. Remembering the nature of impermanence, everything arising and passing away. So we're going to start in Shavasana, so lying on the mat. So if you're sitting, I invite you now to come to lie down, and I'm going to come back to meet you on my mat. And keep any blankets over you just for the moment. And you can release your arms down by your side if you like. And just we're going to start to breathe in through the nose. And then we're going to imagine exhaling out through the feet. So sending the breath down through the body and out through the feet. So we're breathing in through the nose, filling the lungs. And exhaling, the breath flows down through the body and out through the feet. This is a really good practice to work with if you've got a very strong monkey mind. So if you've got a lot of thoughts rushing through the head, very busy mind, perhaps a little bit agitated, a little bit disturbed. It's good to do this during the night, so if you're having trouble sleeping. Just to breathe in through the nose and send the breath down through the body and out through the feet. And you can also incorporate the chant just to yourself for now of Shantihi. So as you're exhaling, you're chanting to yourself and imagining a wave of peace traveling down through the body. So filling yourself with this energy of peace. When we chant Shantihi, it can help to reduce agitation in body and mind. All right, so let's now incorporate an arm movement. So if you've got a blanket over you, just free the arms. And if you'd like to join with me, we'll chant Shantihi out loud as we're exhaling. So we'll do 5 of these. So let's breathe in, extend the arms up overhead, point the toes, stretch from fingertip to toe tip. Shanti. 4 more. Breathing in. Shanti. Let's keep going. Go at your own pace. Work with the rhythm of your own breath. Shanti. Shanti. And last one. Shanti. Let's take a resting breath there. And we're going to start to rock the heels. So if you haven't done this before, you can have a look. It's actually a Qigong movement. We're just starting to rock, to pulse the feet, and hopefully you start to feel the whole body rocking on the floor, even the back of your head, shoulders. Just keep the skin of the face soft. Make sure you're not clenching the teeth, soft forehead, relaxed scalp. You can keep this slow or you can speed it up, play around with that, see what feels good. So just encouraging energy to flow through the whole being. Good. And then just slow that movement down. You might like to take a deep breath in and sigh the breath away. Good. And then we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers around or under the knee. Point the left toes. And as we breathe in, we're raising the left leg up, flexing the foot. And as we exhale, lowering the left leg down. Heel may hover off the floor. And then we point the toes, inhaling, raise the leg, and flex, and exhaling. This time we're going to keep the leg in the air, breathing in, take it up, and then just starting to point and flex the foot, point and flex. Keep the chin tucking forward so the back of the neck is long. And let's circle that foot. And reversing. Good. And then carefully lower that left leg down. We're going to move into the universal spinal twist. So right foot will go on the left thigh, left hand to the outer edge of the knee, right arm out at shoulder height. And as we exhale, we're taking that knee across the body, endeavoring to keep that right shoulder down, and either keeping the head in a neutral position or turning to look along that right arm towards your fingers. Visualizing the breath flowing up and down your spine, face soft, mouth relaxed. So one of the reasons we work with different postures, just one of the reasons, is to help us learn to stay in sometimes a little bit uncomfortable positions. So then we can take this, what we learn on the mat, out into the rest of our world. So one well-known yoga teacher once called asanas artificially artificially induced stressful situations. Artificially induced stressful situations, so we can see how we respond to that, how we respond to the different poses, especially the ones we find a little bit more challenging. Do we immediately grip and tighten and get stressed, or can we relax and soften and breathe and just stay there without desperately wanting to get out of the position as quickly as we can? Might mean we need to modify the pose. We might need to back off a little bit, and that's where the wisdom comes in. All right, let's come out of this twist. Just hug that right knee in for a moment, and then we'll swap over. So draw the left knee in, stretch the right leg out, point your right toes, inhale, raise the leg and flex. Let's lower the leg down. Heel can hover off the floor. And then again, raising the leg up and flex and lower. At this time, we're going to keep that right leg in the air and point and flex. And circling this right leg, nice slow circles. And reversing. Good. And let's carefully lower that right leg down. Place the left foot on your right thigh. Right hand to the outer edge of the knee, left arm at shoulder height. And we're taking that knee across the body. So endeavoring to relax that left shoulder on the floor, perhaps turning to look along that left arm towards your left fingers. So it's a little harder to breathe deeply here because one side of the lungs is being a little bit compressed. So this is where we need to, in the twist, to try to soften a little. Allow the breath to flow as smoothly and calmly as possible. Just turning the sides of the mouth up slightly. Good. And then let's slowly come back to center. Give that left knee a hug and then stretch it out along the mat. Taking a resting breath there. Good. And then we're going to step both feet up close to the buttocks and just take the arms so that they're pointing up towards the sky. Palms are facing each other. Press the lower back down. So feel that your head, neck and spine are in a straight line. Let's do a little bit of work for our shoulders now. So as we inhale, just lift the right shoulder blade away from the floor. So it's like you're trying to stretch your right fingers up to touch the ceiling and then let it as you exhale, lower down. So we'll do 4 more of these just on the right side. So inhale, lifting that right shoulder blade up, holding. And then as you exhale, just let it soften back down. So keep going. Breathe in, you lift, squeeze, hold, and lower. Face stays relaxed. Again. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So as you inhale, left shoulder blade lifts. Press the lower back down, fingertips stretching up towards the ceiling and lower. And 4 more. When you finish, we're going to do the 2 together. So as you inhale, stretching the fingertips up and down. Try 4 more. Just a little movement. Last one. Good. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourselves a lovely hug. We're going to raise the legs to the sky in the moment. Arms out to the side or overhead. And as we exhale, if you'd like to join with me, we'll chant Shantihi. So let's exhale all breath. And then breathing in. Shanti. So 4 more. Shanti. Keep going. Shanti. Shanti. And last one. Shanti. Drop your feet to the mat, close to the buttocks, palms pressing down alongside the hips as we prepare now to work with bridge. If it's better for you, you can keep your arms where they are down alongside you. Otherwise, we're going to incorporate the arms as we lift into bridge, just one arm at a time and then both arms. So you can follow along with me if you'd like to. So again, we just check that out. Head, neck and spine are in a straight line. Feet to hip width, a little bit pigeon-toed. Exhale, all breath, tuck the chin forward. And then as we breathe in, we might lift the left arm overhead as we roll the spine away from the mat. And as we exhale, we lower the spine back down and that left arm comes down as well. Other side. So breathing in, right arm lifts. And lowers. Now this third time we lift both arms overhead and we might stay here for a breath. So we exhale as we hold the pose. Breathe in and lower the back and both arms. So that's one round. We'll do a couple more. So you might be keeping your arms alongside you, otherwise left arm lifting. And lower. Right arm lifting. And lower. Both arms overhead. And we pause here as we exhale. Breathe in, see if you can lift a little bit higher. And lowering everything down. Okay, one more in your own time without my voice. When you come down, this time bring both knees into the chest. Cross your legs at the ankles, have a hand on each knee, and making some little circles on the floor with your lower back. Good. And circling the opposite way. And just come back to center, uncross your legs, but keep the feet in the air. And we're going to start to shake. So let your ankles be floppy, let the calves be floppy, let your wrists be floppy. And then see if you can shake a little bit faster. A little bit faster. Good. And then just give yourselves a hug. Carefully roll over to one side and we're going to come up to sit. Taking the legs forward into a diamond shape. So soles of the feet together. You might be sitting up onto a cushion or a blanket for a little bit of support. Hands can come forward and then we're going to just slowly come forward, rounding the back. So this is one forward fold where we can, or we are meant to actually round the back. Most of our other forward bends, we keep the spine straight. So just bowing down, let the shoulders soften. So again, if you find the forward folds quite challenging, this is an opportunity to just try to stay and breathe calmly, perhaps mentally whispering to yourself, Shanti. Perhaps even sending the vibration of the chant to a part of you that is feeling a bit achy or a bit sore or a bit painful this morning. Good. And then gently come up, and you can leave the legs like that if you like, or you can sit cross-legged or kneeling. Just do some very gentle neck stretches. So nice tall spine, shoulders are relaxed. We're going to drop the head back. You can open the mouth and just roll the back of your head from one shoulder to the other. You might even like to lift your shoulders up. So it's like you're ironing out some of that tension that a lot of us store in that upper back area. Good, and then just lift the head to center. Now keep the shoulders drawing back, drop your chin to the chest, and same thing, just rolling the head from one shoulder to the other, nice and slowly. Good, and bring the head back to center. Now a deep breath in, lengthen up through the spine, and then we're going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder. We're just going to hold this. You might like to press the left hand down towards the floor just to exaggerate that stretch through the left side of the neck. Breathing here. Breathe the head back to center and drop the left ear to the left shoulder. And again, you might like to press the right hand down towards the mat as you breathe into the right side of the neck. Good. Breathe, go back to center, one more. So dropping right ear to right shoulder. And now this time we're just going to turn the head so that we're gazing down towards our right shoulder. So it's a slightly different stretch, and just hold and breathe here. Good. And lift the head to center. Deep breath in, and left ear to left shoulder, and then turning your gaze so that you're looking towards that left shoulder. Breathe. Back to center. Might like to just give the neck a little bit of a loving rub. Sigh the breath away. And we'll move on to our seated cat now. So you might like to change legs if you're in cross-legged position, or change, even stretch the legs out. So as we exhale, we're going to round the back as we look down. And as we breathe in, chest moves forward, shoulders back as we tilt the head, keep the face soft. Exhale, we round. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, we round. Inhale. So you can keep this slow, or you might like to speed it up. See what feels good for you this morning. And then we might take fingertips onto the shoulders. And as we exhale, endeavoring to squeeze the elbows together. Inhale, take the arms back, opening the heart. Exhale, we round. Inhale, back. Exhale, we round. And then taking the arms wide. Press the palms together. Imagining you're a beautiful bird flying through the sky. Spent a bit of time yesterday watching some pelicans gliding over the water. Beautiful. Such big birds, big wings. Couple more. And then this time when the palms are pressing together, interlace your fingers, turn the palms away. Inhale, let's raise the arms up above the head. If this is a bit strong for your shoulders, you can separate the arms and we'll lean over to the left, back to center, to the right, back to center, and then we'll turn into a twist. So drop your right hand to the outer edge of the knee, left fingers behind, head moves last as we turn. Tuck the chin in a little so the back of the neck is long. Good, and then inhale, the arms out to shoulder height and twisting to the right. Good, and back to center. Let's stretch the legs out now. So you're sitting on the buttocks and the legs are bent and your feet are about mat distance apart, taking the hands behind. So another little twisting movement, but also good for just opening up our hip area. So we're going to lower the knees over to one side, turning to look over the opposite shoulder. And then we come back to center and swing the legs to the other side, head opposite way. So again, we can keep this nice and slow, or we might speed it up. Synchronizing the movement with our breath. Good, and one more to each side. And then we come back to center, release the hands. If you need to, you can make a few slow circles with your wrists. A little bit more work for our hip area. So we're going to place the right ankle on the left thigh. Now this may be enough for you here, and you might even like to just bounce the knee, have the hand on the knee and hold on to the toes. Otherwise, we can take it a little bit further by taking the hands behind and bending this left leg. So if you're doing this, we want to make sure we're not collapsing the chest and rounding the shoulders. So we try to keep the shoulders drawing back, the heart lifting, keeping that right foot flexed to protect the right knee, and find our breath here. Good, and then we'll slowly straighten that left leg if it's bent, and we'll carefully release this leg. You might give the knee a little bit of a rub, and then we'll swap sides. So this side might feel quite different. So we might stay here and keep the spine nice and upright and a little fluttering of this left knee. Otherwise, you might like to take the hands behind and lean back, keeping that left foot flexed, chest moving forward. Face soft, mouth relaxed. You might like to say to yourselves a few times, in softness, I have strength. In softness, I have strength. And gently release, perhaps giving that left knee a little bit of a rub. Stretching the legs out, have your feet at least hip width apart, just making soft fists. And we're just going to, as we exhale, tap down the outside of our legs all the way down. And as we inhale, we tap up the inside of the legs. So exhale, tapping down. And inhale up the inside of the legs. Good. Let's do this a few more times. So tapping down as we exhale. Inhale. Good. Let's do one more. And release. All right. We're going to have a go at doing boat a couple of times. Gentler option is to take the hands behind and lift the legs up. So you might like to try that this morning. Or we can hold on to our opposite wrist under the body and lift ourselves up that way. So you decide how long you want to hold each round of boat. Those of you who are feeling a bit more energetic this morning, you might free the arms. So the palms are alongside the legs, palms facing each other, gazing to your big toes. Keep the breath flowing. So when you've had enough for the first round, just lower the feet down, rest forward for a breath or two, and then if you'd like to, you can come into it for a second round. You might be holding on to the side of the legs. Some of you may even like to straighten the legs for this second go. Resting down when you've had enough. And then without rushing, in your own time, we're going to slowly and carefully come up to stand. Standing with the feet hip width, resting the hands over the heart. If you feel comfortable, closing the eyes. You might like to turn the sides of the mouth up slightly. And you might like to ask yourself, can I bow to what arrives within myself? Can I stay with what is and breathe? Let's release the arms down. We're going to come back to our chant of Shanti here. We're going to do an arm movement. On the second exhale, as we lower the arms down, we'll chant Shanti. So we'll do 5 of these. So just roll the shoulders back, spread the toes, lengthening up through the crown top. And then let's breathe in, raise our arms to shoulder height. As we exhale, we're going to turn the palms over. Just try to relax your shoulders here, soft palms. Breathe in as you stretch the arms all the way up overhead. Shanti. So 4 more. Breathe in. Turn the palms over. Let's keep going. Last one. Take a resting breath. So let's take the hands onto the hips. We're going to do a few of Thich Nhat Hanh's mindful movements, beginning with a mindful squat. So we'll bring the heels together, toes out wide, hands onto the hips. Just relax your shoulders, again, lengthening up through the crown top. So as we breathe in, we're going to lift up onto the balls of the feet. And as we exhale, we're just lowering down. That you might just come to here, and that might be enough. Some of you might be able to come all the way down. And then as we breathe in, we lift all the way up onto the balls of the feet and lowering down. So we're not lowering the heels at all. Inhale, it is a bit of a balance, so keep your gaze on something in front of you that's not moving. Exhale, we lower. Inhale up. Make sure that shoulders aren't starting to tense, or the face or the mouth. Let's try a few more if we can. If you've had enough, you can just release the heels. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. Had enough, we'll release. Release the hands, shake it out. And then we'll go into Thich Nhat Hanh's mindful balance, which we've done quite a bit. So I think you all know this one pretty well. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, you can have a hand on a wall or a chair. Hands are back onto the hips otherwise. Feet a little bit closer together. So we'll shift the weight into the left foot as we breathe in and lift that right leg up. Standing tall. And as we exhale, we're going to try to straighten that leg. Inhale, we bend it in and lower. And then to the other side. Breathe in. Breathe out. In and lower. So let's keep going. Go at your own pace. Linking the movement with your breath. Let's try two more. And you might say to yourselves a few times, in softness, I have. strength, in softness. I have strength. Just make this the last one. Make sure you work evenly. And release the hands. Take a breath. All right, let's work with Thich Nhat Hanh's Warrior One variation. So we step the feet a little wider now, turning your left toes around. Right toes are in a little bit. Right hand just rests on the back thigh and the left hand rests on the front thigh. So we turn to look to the left. So a very gentle, slow movement. So all of these movements are like a moving meditation. So as we breathe in, we're going to bend the left leg and slowly take this left arm up. You can follow the fingers if that's okay for your neck. And then exhale, we release. Otherwise, just keep the head in more of a neutral position. So breathing in. And breathing out. If you'd like to, we'll add the chant of Shanti here for the next 5. Shanti. 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 Last one. Carefully turn your feet around, preparing to do the same to the other side. So turning to the right, exhale all breath. So first 2 without the chant, breathing in, bending the right leg, raising the right arm, and exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. So next 5 with the chant. Shanti. And last one. Shanti. Release the legs. Just a little bit of a shake. And we're going to take the legs wide now, turning the outer edges of the feet parallel to work with Dvikonasana, which is a forward fold. You can bend the legs as you come forward. And if you'd like to, you can either hold the opposite elbow or, if you can, interlace the fingers. And then as we come forward, the arms lift up and over the head. So let's, before we come forward, take a deep breath in. So open the front of the body. And then we try to come down with a flat back. So we keep looking up until we can't any longer. And then we let the head lower. The arms might lift up and over the head. Legs bent or straight. And we'll hold. So feel free to come up early if you need to, especially if you're a bit headachy or a bit of sinus congestion, hay fever at the moment. Also, high blood pressure. We don't generally stay with the head lower than the heart for too long. So you might just stay for 2 or 3 breaths and then come up. Good. And then let's slowly come up and stretch the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale. Release your legs. Bring them in closer. And again, we're going to work with another balance. So I thought we'd have a go at Eagle Garudasana this morning, which is quite a challenging balance. So if we'll see how we go. We can start off very gently and add if we can. So we're going to start off with the weight into the left foot. And then might have a hand on wall. If you don't need that support this morning, you're going to cross the right knee over the left. Now this foot can just stay out to the side, or you can, if you're really wobbly, big toe can touch the mat. So you've got a bit of extra support. Some of you might be able to wrap that foot around your left calf. Then we're going to bring the arms up and we're going to cross the left elbow on top of the right. And you can hold on to your opposite shoulder like this. This is quite a nice variation. Otherwise, we're aiming to bring the palms of the hands together. So there's a lot going on. And breathe. So beautiful opening for the area between the shoulder blades. We can stay upright. Those of you who'd like to go a bit further, you can bow down and see if you can touch your elbow to your knee. And breathe. And slowly come up. And release. Shake it out. And we'll try the other side. So weight into the right foot. And we're crossing left knee on top. Might have that big toe on the mat or hooking the foot around the calf. And then this time, right elbow on top of left. Perhaps holding opposite shoulder or palms touching. Breathing. And the option to bow down if you'd like to. Slowly coming up. And gently release. All right, let's come to sit down. So you might, again, be sitting on a blanket or a cushion. Legs can be stretched out, or you might be kneeling or sitting cross-legged as I am. We're just going to do some eye strengthening work now. So sitting with a nice tall spine, shoulders relaxed, chin tucked in just a little bit. The skin of the face is soft. I invite you to close the eyes now and to visualize a clock in your mind's eye. We're going to follow the numbers of the clock around. If you wear glasses, you might like to just pop those to the side. So I invite you now to be looking at the middle of the clock and then look up to number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 6, 9, 3, 9, 6, 12, 3, 6, 12, 3, 9, 3, 9, 12, 6, 12, 9, 3, center. Take a breath. Bring the palms of the hands together. Let's rub the palms again until they feel nice and warm. And cupping the eyes, your closed eyes, and just breathing there. You might like to say to yourselves again, may I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. And then just gently part the fingers, open the eyes, let some light trickle through, sliding your fingers down over your face, flick the fingers away. Let's stretch the legs out. We're going to work with a dynamic Paschimottanasana, and we'll come back to our chant of Shanti. So we'll work with 5 flowing, and then the 5th one, as we come forward, we'll hold that for a few extra breaths. So our hands are down alongside our hips, our feet are flexed, feet are about hip width apart, nice tall spine, lengthening up through the crown top. So on your next inhale, stretch the arms up above the head, and we're going to just pause here as we exhale. So just relax your shoulders, and on the next inhale, see if you can grow a little bit taller. And then we'll come forward chanting Shanti. So inhale, raise the arms up, and again we just pause here as we exhale with the arms extended. Inhale, try to stretch up a little bit taller. Shanti. So 3 more like this. Inhale. Pause as you exhale, soften. And breathe in, lengthen upward. Shanti. Hold there as you exhale. Last one. Now staying in the forward fold, just relaxing your shoulders and breathing. Stretch the arms up. This time bring your palms together and exhale. Just resting the hands at the heart and take a breath. Release the hands. So we're going to come down and work with a little twist, a bit of a stretch before we lie in Shavasana. So if you want to pop socks on, or pop a jumper on, have your blanket close by, just coming to lie down, stepping the feet up close to the buttocks. So for a gentle twist, feet are on the mat, otherwise feet are in the air. The arms out at shoulder height, or if you'd like to try something a little bit different this morning, you might interlace your fingers under the head. So taking the elbows out wide. Feel that your head, neck and spine are in a straight line, and then we'll take a deep breath in and lower the knees over to the right side. Now if your feet are on the mat, you might choose to lift that right foot up and place it on the outer edge of the left knee. You might also turn the head to the left. And we'll take a few breaths here. Release that right foot down. If it's on the left knee, come back to center. And exhaling, knees over to the left side. So again, you might place that left foot on the outer edge of the right knee. Perhaps turning to the right. And releasing that foot, come back to center. Bring the knees in, a little bit of a rock from side to side. And then stretching the legs out along the mat. You might like to now cover yourselves with a blanket. If you'd like to, we'll stretch the arms up overhead, interlock your thumbs, wriggle and stretch from side to side. And then when you need to, lowering the arms down. You might like to do that a couple more times. Breathing in, arms lift up overhead, interlock the thumbs, wriggle and stretch. And lower the arms. And perhaps once more. Good. And then setting yourself up for Shavasana, relaxation. You might like to sigh the breath away. And you might like to come back to the practice we began with, where we inhale through the nose, And then send the breath down through the body and out through the feet. And you might even like to mentally chant Shanti. So just a few of those as you settle down, allowing peace to wash through your being. Letting everything settle. Everything becoming a little quieter, a little calmer. While you're resting, I'd like to share with you a passage from Jeff Foster, a writer. He says, when you feel reactive and triggered and tempted to lash out at the world, at loved ones, or at yourself, can you slow down and get curious about what is actually happening in your body and mind instead? Can you stay close to yourself with compassion in your time of crisis or pain? When you are hurting, feeling lost and groundless, when your expectations have been dashed and your world seems like it is falling apart, and painful feelings of shame and fear and anger are rising to the surface. In your fast and frenetic search for peace and relief, you are tempted to go to one of two extremes. One, numbing the feelings, shutting them down, suppressing them, pretending they aren't valid and real, and burying them deep in the unconscious. It will be okay if I just ignore it. Two, indulging the feelings, wallowing in them, losing your presence and ground to them, getting sucked into their drama. You become a victim of the feelings instead of a victor, a slave instead of a loving and compassionate master. There is a third possibility if you wish to live in a deeper, more compassionate, profound, and authentic way. To live right in the middle of the uncomfortable feelings, without shutting them down, without becoming overwhelmed by them, without automatically and unconsciously acting them out and going into blame, shame, and attack. Breaking the old habitual reactive patterns of generations before you, can you find the willingness to stay present now, just for a moment, with these difficult feelings as they burn, dance, fizzle, throb, and pulsate in the body. So let's now start to deepen the breath and bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes. I'd like to have a bit of a stretch. And carefully rolling over to your right side. Just stay there for a moment. You might like to rest a hand or two over your heart. And once again, say to yourselves, may I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. And in your own time, without rushing, gently coming up to sit. And we'll close our practice this morning by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll do this 3 times if you'd like to join with me. And bring the hands together at the heart. Exhaling all breath. Breathing in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just gently bow your head down towards your heart. And lift the head up. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for joining me this morning. Lots of love to you all.
Thank
Bye.
you.